Today, I just want to introduce you to the learning tools that are now a part of Word Online. They're also currently available in OneNote Online and the desktop version of OneNote. Hopefully by next year, we would see these in the desktop version of Word as well. You can find these learning tools right now in Word Online if you go to the View tab in Word. Now, under the View tab, you're going to see this one called Immersive Reader. When I click on Immersive Reader, it's going to open up my document into a reader format. Now, currently my settings are saved from the last time that I was in Immersive Reader. So if there's certain settings that that person likes all the time, it would automatically open up with that view. And really, this is in reading mode. So I can't edit from here. You can see I can actually click on the words. But the first thing I'm going to show you in this view is this text preferences part up here. So I can increase the size of my text. Depending on your readers, it may be a great idea to have it bigger or smaller. I can increase the spacing between lines, and it also does words. So you'll notice kind of the spaces between letters and words get a little bigger when that is turned on. I have 3 options for font. I have Calibri, Sitka, and Comic Sans. I would have to look back at Microsoft's documentation, but I believe they used the Sitka font because it is better for individuals that have dyslexia in distinguishing the differences between like B's and D's. And then I also have themes down here. So currently mine's on a dark theme, which would be helpful for somebody that may have a vision impairment because you get that high contrast between the letters in the background. And if I want more colors, I can change that. But a lot of people will probably like the dark theme or just the plain light theme that looks like a typical piece of paper. Okay. Some other options that you have from here is you have grammar options. And from here right now I have syllables turned on, but I can turn that off. And then I can also turn on to see the different parts of speech. Now, depending on the sentence, we know that there's certain times where what might be a noun in one sentence is actually a verb in the next sentence. So we have to be careful with some of those situations. But in most cases, it does a great job. If I turn all these on, you can see my nouns are in purple, adjectives in green, which in this case, like National Geographic, this is going to be a noun because it's a book, but it's seeing national and geographic as 2 separate words, so it's thinking it's an adjective. Kids, you've got your noun, you've got your verb of lives, and your adverb also only. Okay. You can also show the little labels above it, which is similar to what you would see in like a dictionary, the definition portion, where you'd see the N for noun, V for verb, when it's talking about the different definitions. I'm going to go ahead and turn these parts off for now. If I do want to, depending on a person's preference, you could say make all the nouns red, so you could change those colors as well using this little drop-down menu on the side. The other tool that's up in this section is a reading preference. And so right now, I have line focuses off. You can kind of see if I look at the one word, it's like it's highlighted, got the text box around that word. But if I turn line focus on, and it's on the one line, you're going to see it highlights basically that one row, helping kids to focus on that row. If you scroll down in the document using your touchpad, or like for the kids on the touch screens, if they use their finger to scroll down to the next row, you can see it highlights the next row. You can also use that. If you're on the document just by itself, you can use the little scrolls on the side. Okay. You can also do 2 or 3 lines or multiple lines, so it kind of highlights almost like a paragraph versus a couple sentences. The one thing that I do have turned on right now is the picture dictionary. And this is one where earlier I said it looks like you can click on the word. So if I turn line focus off, you'll see this word has the line around it. If I click on it, I can see a picture for that, and I can also listen to it pronounce that word, okay? Below this, you're seeing it says Spanish, and it has the Spanish pronunciation and the Spanish spelling for that word as well. Now, when I'm in this reading preferences part, there is the translate portion, and that's where it is picking up, showing me the translation for Spanish there. Now, you'll notice this says Spanish Mexico, and it's because it has kind of the different dialects of Spanish in here as well. So there are lots of different languages here. I'm going to scroll down just to Spanish so you can see real quick. But you'd have Spanish with Latin America, Spanish Mexico, and Spanish Spain, because we know sometimes they have slightly different sounds depending on where you're at. If you want to do more than just by word, you can turn on translation for the whole document. So now you see this part has gone into Spanish. If I want to up here, I can click on the little link that says original. So I can flip back and forth when it's the whole document between an English version or a Spanish version. Okay. The other thing with the tools, besides those that are up here, is we can have this whole document read to us, which could be really helpful for individuals who may need help reading through materials. Like this is just a couple of paragraphs about giant pandas from National Geographic Kids. If I had kids who had trouble reading some of this information, I could pull it up in here and have it play for them and basically read to them. Now with that, there are some voice settings here, and I can change the voice speed. So I can turn this up so the speaker is really fast, or I can turn this and slow this down. It also gives the options between a male and a female voice. Depending on maybe that student's preferences, they could change that. Now, because I'm recording this, you're not going to be able to hear it, but you'll see the box here move as I push play. So as it reads, it's going to highlight the word that it's currently on. Okay. Now I have this on fairly slow, so you would have noticed the box was moving pretty slow. If I turn this up on high and hit play, you see it's moving much faster. So this is the immersive reader tools. When you hear people reference the learning tools, a lot of it are right within that portion. However, another tool that would be very helpful for a lot of students, especially those who have ideas in their head but have struggled to put it on paper. They could read it out loud. They could say it out loud to you, not read it out loud, but they could say their idea out loud to you, but they can't get it on paper, is this dictate function. Now over here under dictate, if I hit this, I can tell it what language I am speaking. So right now I'm English with a US accent to it. And then if I click on the microphone, that's going to turn the dictate feature on, and it's going to start typing out what I'm saying. So I'm going to turn on dictate, and I'm actually going to read the top paragraph from this National Geographic Kids portion so you can see how well it does. High and dense bamboo forests in the misty, rainy mountains of southwestern China lives one of the world's rarest mammals, the giant panda, also called the panda, period. Only about 1,500 of these black and white relatives of bears survive in the wild, period. So I'm going to go ahead and turn dictate off. So as you look down here, it's not perfect. It's not an exact match to what we have up above. I'm missing some commas. When I first started, high in the dense, it went more with high and almost like intense. But otherwise, it is pretty close, almost word for word, of what we have up above. So I may have to just go back and make a few grammar edits. But when students are making up their own story or they're telling their own information, they might use the dictate function to basically say their sentences. And then you could actually have them go back to the view and use the immersive reader to have them listen to what they just said or basically what is written on the paper. So they might pick up pieces that are missing when it's read that way. These are just examples of the learning tools that Microsoft has added. If you have any questions about it, please reach out to your building instructional technologist and they can help you figure out how you might use this or how you might set this up. Thanks.